Hello, Dumelang Linjani Nigai. I always thought I'm multilingual, but then I just realized I can only go as far as Abantu. But anyways, it's not on me. This is Girls Aloud, a podcast supported by Culture Fund Zimbabwe. Like you already know, this is a podcast for women. It's an all things female podcast. Don't call it pink though, but then it's an all things female podcast. Anyways, hey. So my name is Nozi Maposa, also known as Mapo. And today we are talking about women in business. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Okay, thank you. So can you just please describe your journey when you decided to go into business to date?
I didn't decide to go into business.
Okay.
It just happened.
Wow.
I had been working for an insurance company for about 10 years.
All right.
And I was very happy with my job.
Yes.
Though, sometimes you get bored by doing the same thing over and over.
Yes,
so I just decided to take up a hobby.
Okay.
Which was golf at that time. So I started playing golf, but I still felt, no, this is not
This is not it. Okay.
Yeah, so I played golf for a whole year.
Okay.
But I still felt, this is not it. Then I decided, okay, maybe let me go into cake decorating because I could bake, I love to bake for my family, for my kids. But then I just decided, okay, let me go for icing lessons so that I learn how to ice because I could bake. So I went for a crash course about a week.
All right.
And then after that course, I then just started baking for my colleagues at work.
Yes.
So I'll be like, who's got a birthday? And someone will be like my daughter or my husband, and I'll just bake. Yeah, I'll just bake for free.
All right.
At no cost because I was just trying, to fill a void.
Okay, all right.
Well, before I knew it, my phone was buzzing. It was ringing. I want to order a cake. I was like,
all right.
Okay. But even though I continued, I'll charge people just cost buying for ingredients.
Okay.
And that's it. But as time went on, the demand was so high, I couldn't even keep up with my work.
Okay.
And then I thought, I think this is something that I can do.
Okay, for
as a business, because at least because I can't balance now, I need to choose.
Okay, so, between your work and
yes, because I had to sneak out of work, to go into my cakes.
Right.
So I got to that point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. But if I am to leave my job, I don't want to work from home. I don't want to be like the home baker.
Okay, all right.
I just enjoy waking up in the morning.
Okay.
I enjoy waking up in the morning and bathing and going to work. Coming home. So I wanted to just bring everything together.
Okay.
So that's why I then decided to open a cake shop, which does not only do cakes but also ingredients. Because cakes are seasonal, and at that time, not many people were baking yeast. But you know how it is. If as a marketer, that market trends change.
Yes,
1 minute they love your work, and the next minute they love the next person. So I needed something to fall back on.
Okay.
So I decided to identify the gap, and I realized that there was only one baking supplies shop, like a main one in Bulawayo.
Yes.
And I decided, no, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
But I'm going to have a shop that sells ingredients, a shop where you can order your cakes, a shop where you can walk in and buy a slice of cake, a shop where you can have classes as well.
Okay.
So that I could be able to pay my rent. So I really sat down and I planned and I did my research.
All right.
And then I started shop hunting.
All right.
Yeah, until I got to that shop.
Okay, so can I just ask you, why cakes? Just briefly, why cakes?
Well, it's because they are sweet.
Yes,
I love cake with everything. Like, I'm a cake person.
Okay.
I don't like chocolate. I don't like ice cream. I love cake. So I then decided to specialize mainly in cake. So I've had people coming asking me, do pies, do this and do, and I'm like, no, I just do cakes only.
Okay. So what's the thing that you're struggling with when you're coming up with your business that you feel like other women are struggling with?
I think the biggest thing that I struggled with when I was opening my business was the paperwork, the bureaucracy, trying to get the bakery, getting a permit for the bakery. Oh my God, the requirements. It's a lot of work, and I don't think it really affects women only. It affects anyone who really wants to start up a business, especially in this food industry. And I feel that our systems or, in the country are not there to help us to open our businesses. Right. You get there, you get to the council and they tell you want this, and you're like, no, but I'm starting up. I don't have this. I don't have all those things. I'm starting up. I'm trying to create employment. But you find it will take a simple process that can take a day, can take you a month or 2 months. And so, that's the biggest.
And you stopped going to work at that time?
I stopped. No, I didn't stop. I was, I love security. I really waited until everything was ready. So I handed in my resignation and I served my notice 3 months. Okay. So in those 3 months, that's when I was just trying to run around and But the biggest struggle, honestly, was just the whole registration process.
Okay, the paperwork.
You get to a point where you almost give up and you'll be like, because you go today, tomorrow they say no, they didn't tell you, there's something else, A, B, C, D. But you're like, I submitted everything that you asked for. And then get there and say, no, this person who saved you didn't tell you everything. You start afresh the whole process. So it was a deterrent. That's why people work from home.
Yeah, I understand. But then how did you overcome it?
Your persistence, and when you fail at something, you just always have to keep going.
Okay,
that's my
what you want.
Yeah, okay. Just keep pushing.
So, what sacrifices did you have to make to get to where you are today? As women, it's hard to be in business, and I had to sacrifice a lot. Yes.
I had to sacrifice my family.
Yes.
And my friends. I just stopped having a social life. I couldn't attend parties. I couldn't attend weddings.
Yes.
Not only because I was too busy, or sometimes I'm the one who's making the cake for the function, and you can't even attend. But also because when you start a business, it requires you and all of you and 100%. You don't have the time.
Okay.
I never used to sleep, and my kids used to suffer.
Okay.
My daughters especially, and my then ex-husband, because I didn't have time for them.
Okay.
And maybe that's why I'm divorced, because that's one of the sacrifices that you have to make, because
I'm sorry,
you don't have the time. No, it's not. Don't worry.
Okay. So, do you find the world of business friendly to women, specifically young women?
Yeah, now it is. I think. I've been around, I've gone to meetings regionally and even, outside Zim, where it's not really always now a shock that you're a young woman and you're running a business.
Yes.
Although, yes, some people will be like, oh, you are 34 and you already have, a business running like that. But now, slowly, people are accepting that women have got a place in this world. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you wish young women were taught at school?
What we were not taught.
Yes, in terms of the environment, the industry, and
I think women should be taught in entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Women should be taught that this statement that says behind every successful man is a woman.
Yes.
That is just a statement that people used to use udala.
Okay.
Yeah, because it has given women this mentality that you are supposed to be behind a man. You are not supposed to be in front. So we really need to be taught that. We really need to be taught that we can work with our hands, our brains work, and we can do everything else besides being in the kitchen.
Okay. Okay, so there's an assumption that for you to make it in the business world, for you to make it actually as a woman, you have to choose between your family, your family, your career. Is that true?
Yes, it is. It is very true. But, I have come up with mechanisms and ways of trying to balance everything.
Okay.
I have told my daughters that, yes, I am not going to come to every show. Yes, I'm not going to be able to attend every swimming gala.
Yes.
But I will send someone.
Okay.
I have got my staff. I have got my family, which are my support system, that I ask to assist me and ask them to come in. So being a woman doesn't doesn't stop me from being anything that I want to be.
All right, because as you can see, I mean, we have women who would want to be, so women are not traditional actually, want to pick up their kids from school, drop them off at school in the morning, pick them up, you do school run and all that, you cook dinner for your family, you sit down as a family, then you have dinner. And I understand sometimes you have to miss dinner because you're baking a cake, because you have a tight schedule and all that.
You get home at 4 a.m.
Yes. And do you think such women can cope in the business world?
I think it depends on the support.
Okay.
Like it goes back to your support system.
All right.
Your partner, if you are married, for example, they need to understand and they need to, it takes, I always say it takes a strong man to appreciate a strong woman. Because then you don't get intimidated and you support them. Look at the likes of Joyce Meyer. We don't know her husband, but he's there behind the scenes supporting her and working with her. So it's always just important for people to find a way to balance and also to talk to your family and make them understand, to say, I'll be home at 4 a.m. because I have a wedding cake to deliver the following day at 8 a.m.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But then, like in our society, it is much as times are changing, I understand that. But then we still have people who call people, she's a female boss, boss lady, female CEO, female entrepreneur. Like, why
the word female?
Yes, female.
Well, I think it for us it's more of a cultural thing, and it's something, and culture is sort of like a habit. It also like brainwashes you, and people now just always need to relate to you as the female boss or boss lady. Yes, and sometimes even when my guys, they say, okay, let me call my boss for you, and you get there and then
it's a woman.
Are you the boss? So it's going to take time for that to really be eradicated completely in our culture. It's going to take time.
Okay, so I heard you're referring to daughters.
Yes.
So do you want the same for them, the same lifestyle for them? Do you want them to be, entrepreneurs, to be bosses of their own, or you don't mind if they took if they took a different path? How are you going to groom them? Are you going to teach them to be entrepreneurs? Your own children?
Yes, that's my whole vision for them. But unfortunately, the vision that my parents had for me is also not. But my vision for them is for them to grow up as strong and confident women who would believe in themselves. Because being an entrepreneur starts there. Believing in yourself and having confidence to say, I will make this and I will sell it and people will buy it. So that's what I'm trying to teach them. So definitely the entrepreneur way is the way to go here in our region at the moment.
Okay, so how do we normalize female CEOs and female bosses so that people don't get shocked each time they hear I'm a boss and then a woman shows up and boss? How do you normalize that?
It's going to take a lot of attitude change, for us to normalize it. But also the way that you allow people to treat you, the way you allow people to address you, I think is how people relate to you. For example, even my team, they know I don't want to be called boss. I do not want to be called madam. I don't want to be called all those things. I want to be called Kathy because I want to lead without a title. I want people to fail to recognize who is even the boss.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so what advice would you give a young lady, like say she's 18 and she wants to get into the business world, or any woman, just like be saying, wants to get into business?
Any woman that wants to go into business, the first thing is to have a vision. You need to know where you're going and to write down that vision and push towards that vision. Have a plan, to say this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it. How am I going to get funding? How am I going to raise funding? Where am I even starting? Am I starting by selling 1 tomato and then next week I should be selling 10 tomatoes? You need to have a vision and have a plan, a path of where you are going. Because now people just go into business because so and so is selling this and we are humble. So where is it coming from? You need to know where you start and where you are going.
So you spoke about funding. What do you how far do you think the government should intervene in funding these women entrepreneurs and
I think there is a gap.
Sorry, to cut you off, and then in the papers, paperwork, and you said it was a long process. Like, what do you think should be done by the funding and paperwork, and just to make the whole process easy and not tiresome and boring?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, they need to just have a simple form that people can fill in, and have serious people who want to assist us, who will make sure, and turnaround times, I think that's the problem there. We didn't have turnaround. They don't have turnaround times. It's supposed to take a certain time. Is it 2 days? Is it 1 week? Is it 1 month for your company to be registered or for your paperwork to be done? Even the requirements, even right now when you try and go to a microfinance, they start asking you about 3 months bank statement. You're an entrepreneur, startup. You don't have 3 months. You don't even have a bank account. So those are the kind of things that even these small microfinances, if they really want to tap into this market of the young, upcoming entrepreneurs, they need to just ease a little bit on their requirements. I know they're trying to protect their funds and minimize risk, but you never know. There's that 2 or 3 people who are going to come up with successful businesses.
Okay, so what's the biggest mistake that women make when they get into business?
Biggest mistake is going into business with your husband.
Okay.
Yes. People must go into business for themselves. Solo. If your husband wants to help you, he can help you and he can assist you. As a silent partner. As a silent partner or behind the scenes. Because what I experienced personally was going into business with my husband, thinking this is a family thing. Only later on for someone to now start telling you that he owns the business. After all your hard work, and you're not sleeping, So, going into business with your partner requires maturity from both parties. It means it requires the same vision. So you need to have the same vision. You need to have maturity. Because later on, when the business starts flourishing, people start fighting. Unfortunately, it's human nature to be greedy. So women need to be just careful. If you're doing your thing, do your own thing. Don't mix.
Okay, but then fine. Let's say in this case, your husband is the one who's got funding, so the means to fund the business. And then how do you then go about it? And then fine, let's say in this case, you said it takes maturity for both parties to actually be in business together. How do you then separate business from marriage? Obviously there is conflict of interest and all that. You might not understand each other, be it contracts that you need to sign. How do you separate the two in marriage from your business world?
Okay, a lesson learned for me was initially, I'm just going to give you a small short story of how it happened with me. Initially, when I wanted to open a shop, before I had the money, I went to my partner and I told him to say, I've identified a shop. This is what I want to do. I want to do A, B, C, D. This is my vision. And he was like, okay, it's fine. Let's go and see the shop. We went to see the shop. And then 3 days down the line, I'm like, I'm waiting for the money. I want to go and pay for the rent. And then he was like, no, I'm not giving you the money. But how come?
I spoke to you.
You bought into my idea. And then he was like, no, well, I don't think you're ready to open a business right now. And because I didn't have the money, I didn't have the funding, what did I have to do? I had to take it. But that, for me, was my push. I said, okay, if he's not giving me the money, I am going to find it myself. I am going to save. I saved for a good 1.5 years. In unit trusts. Okay, so I would do wedding cakes. So wedding cakes are a chunk of money. So I'll do the wedding, all the money from the wedding cakes, I'll just put it through into the unit trust, put it through into the unit, and then I'll make the wedding cakes from the birthday cakes. And I saved my money, I think, until I had about almost $20,000 in unit trust. And I used to work here at an insurance company, so they used to ask me, this money, where is it coming from? And it's like, no, I'm working, I'm saving towards something. And when I got to the amount that I wanted, I went and I looked for a shop. I didn't consult. I didn't have to consult anyone.
You have the money now.
Yes, and I worked for it. And it was God's way of trying to say, no, you can't get everything on a silver platter. You need to work for it so that you can appreciate it. So I worked and I saved and I opened my shop with my own money. So it's possible. Without funding.
So would you say that men like partners, do you feel like they're intimidated by women in business? Let's say I'm your partner, and then this is my husband, and then I have a business. Do you feel like he gets intimidated by the fact that I get an idea that he didn't have on his own?
It's not even intimidation. It's what do they call it? Inferiority complex.
Okay.
That's what they call it. It's also like I said, maturity.
Yes.
If a person is not mature enough, they will not be able to embrace.
Okay.
So there are some women that are born with strength
and leadership
qualities, and when they talk to you, you feel like they are challenging you. Women like Kathy.
Okay.
So you get intimidated. But
and how do you then go ahead to separate your business life and your marriage life?
Well, like I'm saying, you have to sacrifice something. It's either you get the business or you get the marriage. You have to choose.
Okay. Okay. So, what are some the common reasons why businesses fail?
Mainly it's what do you call it? Procrastination.
Okay.
Where most people always want to tell themselves, I'm going to do it. People are not consistent. People give up easily, and people don't believe in themselves. They fail once, and then that's it. You fail 7 times, and you keep rising until you get to where you want to go.
Okay, thank you so much, Katie. Let's take a break then. Now we look at reviews from our audiences.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Kathy.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'll just go through those questions and answers. Lo would say, I'm a business ideas akona, but akula funding. We could do with some business funding projects from the government.
Yes, definitely. I agree.
Yes.
But there are some SMEs, SME programs.
Yes.
I know in Shashandlela there is actually a section where it's specifically for women, and there are also cooperatives that are coming up now.
Okay.
I've actually even started my own cooperative, especially for the young ladies who are interested in baking.
Okay.
They can actually join our cooperative where we are actually helping each other. We are funding, we're pulling funds together so that we can fund each other's business and help each other.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Then it's hard to be good business as a woman because mostly my clientele ngabangani bami and bayakwereta. So like I quit my last business because people who take things on credit and never have the energy to landerize kwereta.
Very true.
Yes.
If you are not focused, you will do business with your friends. But if you are focused, you are going to look for people that don't know you and that want to support your business. In our society, our friends are the ones that bring our businesses down.
Okay.
Our friends and our family. You have people who are saying, next week, birthday, can you? Yes, and I will tell you that unfortunately, if you want to place an order for a cake, you go to the shop and they will assist you there. Don't take cake orders. That way, people don't deal with you directly. But if you are doing it by yourself, then you just tell them. Yes, so you just tell them that unfortunately I have to restock and I cannot afford to give credit at the moment.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's better. I don't like how women are not innovative when it comes to business ideas. It's like what you said earlier. Umuntu is interested in Brazilians because they're interested in Brazilians, runners and selling nails and feeding broilers and selling broilers. But then why can't women tap into the male world business-wise?
The truth is most women Vale syndrome.
Yes.
And they are lazy.
Yes.
That's the word. They're not proactive, they're not initiative. They don't want to think of original ideas.
Yes.
So that's why you find there's this bandwagon that they're always following. If this is selling, that's what they are selling. They don't want to sit down and think to say, what can I do that other people are not doing? I believe in differentiating yourself from everyone else.
Yes.
And like you're saying, tapping into those markets where it's only men. Yes. I was so impressed to see a woman doing a class 2 driving lesson. You know, it shows ukuthi women are capable of doing. Being a woman doesn't stop you from doing anything that you want to do.
That's true.
So that's instead, right now, women are supposed to be focusing on those areas where they are thought not to excel. Women don't want to go into painting. Simple thing is painting.
Yes.
You know, we can paint, we clean houses, we cook, we wash.
Why can't you paint? Imagine.
But right now, a lot of people are building houses. Bayakha, so bafuna bo painter, bafuna bo tiler, bafuna umsebenzi ukhona. But because now in our minds we've told ourselves ukuthi tiling yenziwa amadoda, painting yenziwa ngamadoda. But there's a huge gap in that market.
Okay. Okay, so like, other than painting and tiling, fine. Now, what other low business cost ideas do you think women should start on? Like, just to start up?
Which men are doing, or just in general?
Just in general.
Oh, there's so much. To me, the market is as big as the sky.
Yes.
You know, any market that you want to go to, as long as you're focused, as long as you're consistent, and as long as you believe in yourself, you can do it.
Yes. Okay, I recently got into business with one of my friends. I don't think she takes it seriously enough because she constantly borrows money from the business. We are not going anywhere.
Okay. First and foremost, don't go into business with your friend. Don't go into business with your partner.
Yes.
It's always advisable to go into a business with someone that you don't know.
Yes.
Why? Because it's easy to put rules and regulations of how the business is going to be run. Most of the times, a business, a startup where there's an existing relationship is so difficult because one way or the other there's someone who will overpower the other person. Partnerships are very tricky. Right now I'm in a partnership with a lady in Harare. When I wanted to open my shop in Harare, I said the only way I can run this business properly is having a partner in Harare. I didn't need to have a partner, but I knew I needed someone on the ground.
The business.
Yes, I check every day what my operations are happening. But when we met, we were two people who don't know each other, and we came up with a partnership agreement, which strictly outlines what who does and what who does, when and how the profit share is going to go based on our contributions to the business. And that way you don't have any problems.
Okay. All right. So Lomunye Uchi, where do I find the discipline to keep my business and personal finances separate?
By having a simple thing called a counter book. It's the simplest thing. You have your counter book and you draw your columns and you have your income and your expenditure. The biggest mistake that people make is they don't pay themselves a salary. So if you don't pay yourself a salary, you need to survive. You go into the Imalia business. So what you need to do is have just simple basic accounting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Omunye ogcina uthi actually I've been ordering and selling clothes for over a year, but I am still living hand to mouth.
Because we are being a lot discipline really in cash. Yes. 2, she doesn't have a plan of what she wants to do. Because when you have a plan, where you're saying today I'm selling 5 dresses, next week when I sell these 5, I need to buy another 10. And I'm growing. Next week I'm buying another 10. And you, instead of 10, you're now buying 15. Instead of 15, you're now buying 20. Instead of 20, you're now buying 30. That's business growth, where you keep growing your money. At that time, abantu bagijimela profit. Profit in business terms, when we went to school, that's why a business will only start making profit after 5 years. You break even. Future will break even. But our problem as entrepreneurs is we want profit instantly. No, it's impossible. Tina, even as Cake Fairy, we are only starting now to make profits. Because
how long have you been running Cake Fairy for?
Cake Fairy has been running as a shop for 2 years. Yeah, and we are not even anywhere close to where we want to be. We want to be the biggest baking supply shop in Zimbabwe. So imagine if I'm going to start using my profits now.
Just to repeat up, what can I read or watch to as an aspiring business lady?
The first book to read is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That is one of my favorite books. It taught me discipline. It taught me to write my vision down. It taught me how to think in business. Another one is also How to Lead Without a Title, also by Robin Sharma. It also outlines how you are supposed to live your life on a day-to-day basis, how you start your day. From the day uvuka ilanga lakho lize liyephela. It's a good guide. And also the 5 a.m. club is also by Robin Sharma. It's also one detailed book also that helps with consistency and persistency. But I would say for someone who's starting, if you read The Leader Who Had No Title, that's your startup package.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Kathy, for joining us.
You are welcome, and thank you for having me.
Anytime. That was all that we had on Women in Business today. Join us next time as we talk about more interesting women issues. This is Girls Aloud, supported by Culture Fund Zimbabwe. And please follow us on our Twitter page at Girls AloudZW. Bye-bye.